chat, here we go. It's Joreuz versus Atow. The beginning of the best of 7. Little chat there if Atow needed a test or not, but it is not a test. And look, it's the drama I talked about before the match. Joreuz is in the Batmobile. And the Batmobile is up 1-0. The Batmobile makes its return to 1v1. I think we've seen Daniel use a little bit of Batmobile here and there, but he only ever brings it out when things aren't going well. Joreuz has decided to bring it out right away against Atow after he watched the Batmobile take him down in the RLCS. Listen, I don't know if the wounds are still fresh, but we just watched GK Esports make one of the most legendary runs of all time this last Sunday through many teams, including Joreuz's team, Dignitas. And he said, I want to be on the right side of Batmobile history this time around. So I'm going to play the Batmobile here against Atow. And he's quickly up 2-1. The question when a player uses a car as different as the Batmobile is from an Octane hitbox is, will he be able to do, the kind of stuff mechanically that you normally do? Obviously, the touches are somewhat different. Are you going to be able to aerial like you did before? You are going to gain extra buffs. One of the big buffs of the plank hitbox is always the flicks. Whether you're practiced at them or not, you're going to have a ton of extra power, although I guess that could also be a downside. If you're used to not launching them to the moon, all of a sudden you are going to launch them to the moon. But Joreuz, I'm feeling good about how he's going to play in the Batmobile today because it's not a last-second adjustment. We've seen people move into it when it's not going well for them. It seems like they need a mental shakeup of some sort. They'll go to something new, and they go Batmobile. This time around, Joreuz joined into the party on the Batmobile. He's clearly, been warming up in the Batmobile, is ready to play in it. I'm expecting a clean match from him here with it. We'll see if he switches off of it. But look at this. He's getting Atow to own goal. This is the kind of magic that the Batmobile had last Sunday as Atow decides to fake challenge on this deep dive, and there's a flick just far enough up ahead that Atow's touch just slots it instead of clearing it away. Atow loves his delay kickoff. We saw Vatira use it here and there. Atow uses it, it's tough to say a majority of the time, but definitely a hefty percentage. He's also rocking the same wheels that he rocked this last weekend. Wait, is there a special version of the hamster wheels where they're skeletons? Or were they always skeletons, even when he was using them this last weekend? Joreuz. Ground shots, top shelf. I want him to move his camera so I can see them. Is he listening? Painted is skeletons. Oh, I don't think he was using the painted version before. Is like painted black a skeleton hamster? They're actually, am I crazy for saying this? They actually look kind of nice. Like, they don't look like complete clown car type things that sometimes, people will add something crazy and you're like, they're clearly just memeing. But these actually look kind of nice. Goes with the KC decal really well as Atow gonna boom the power shot. There's 2 versions of live and skeleton. Atow trying to steal a corner boost here from Joreuz. It's going to succeed in doing so. Joreuz clears the ball out into the blue half, but it's going to be forced to play defense again. Atow, the kind of guy who's so creative in offense. One thing he does like to do, though, he does like to bump probably a little bit more than your average player. Maybe the only player who bumps more than him, as Joreuz gets a demo to show that he's down to play the physical game as well. Moxie maybe goes for bump plays a little bit more in 1s than Atow does. Atow is obviously a heavy bumper in 3s. He keeps that same tendency in his 1v1 game. He also loves himself a back wall double more than you'll see other players do, which you might be thinking, back wall doubles, especially if you're normally a 3s fan, those happen all the time, but they're really actually quite risky in 1s because the backboard clear is essentially a free goal if they are able to do it. That's a nice reset. Top left corner. But Atow's so confident on them. He can set up the double so high, far away from the defender, and still feel good about putting it on target. That he's down to try it out. Look at this movement here from Atow to tie up the game 5-5. Even Joreuz is going to give him the nice shot. He picks up the boost. Taps the ball down. He's 90-degree turn, but just wave dash power slide gets him right back to the ball anyways. And he'll air roll around it to put it around the Batmobile. Do you think Atow's going to switch to the Batmobile? Probably not. Has Atow used it on occasion? I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen him use a mix-up car like that. Joreuz. Oh my goodness. It doesn't seem like his mechanics are faltering at all. You know, every little bit of a shot could be changed up by as drastic of a hitbox difference, and yet Joreuz seems to know exactly how to use his Batmobile. As he gets it crossbar down. Another kickoff win for him. Atow will force him back into the orange half, but he's going to have possession and the ball. And is there a scarier position to be in than with a Batmobile carrying the ball? Because you know it's about to come off that car like a cannon. And Joreuz launches it from midfield at 107 kilometers per hour. And it's an 8-5 lead for Joreuz. Atow not going to go to the kickoff at all. Kickoffs like that actually pioneered by his opponent here. And Atow's ready to go next because this one did not work at all. He just handed the ball over as he flipped away from it. And he wants to go next, so he will. Game number 1, going to go to the Batmobile in this best of 7 for $250. Everybody is adding Oli in chat, so something tells me illegal car. Oli said illegal car in chat. Probably after the flick, if I had to imagine. Clearly it's cheating. Oli knew before everyone else, as he used it on his way to a regional victory. In fact, Atow and Joreuz were both victims of the Batmobile. And Joreuz did not want to be the one to become a victim twice. So he said, I'm going to be the one to use it here against Atow. And we'll see if Batman shows up in Atow's nightmares or not. This is a great air dribble reset, though. Atow still very much in this series. It was a back and forth game number 1. Even though it did ultimately end up in a forfeit. Joreuz, the carry. One other thing that I really like about the plank hitboxes, and chat's about to say you like this about every single car, but I like it a lot about the plank hitboxes as well, is their pogo. Their pogo is extra high if you're able to hit the diagonal pogo bounce as you fall to the ground. It gives you even more air underneath the ball to make defenders miss. We'll see if Joreuz uses it. We know Zapatos, the only other guy who's really using a plank hitbox consistently, shows it can be worthwhile. Atow, actually an interesting mix-up on the dismissal of the kickoff. Normally, players are going right back, picking up the back corner 100, and then turning in field. Atow just diagonaled out to center field, picked up a couple pads, and just played with 70. Maybe a safer way to cover a shot at the cost of a little bit of boost. But that being said, you know, great delay on this from Joreuz. We'll talk about Atow in a second on his kickoff. But Joreuz not just shooting right away, making sure to put the fear of a fake into Atow's hearts, change the timing such that he feels like he needs to slow down in case there is no flick, and then launch it out ahead of him. But as I was saying, I actually think I'd like Atow's adjustment. You know, on the surface, on that diagonal kickoff, just flipping towards midfield, 70 boost is more than enough, and you don't have to speed recover back to the net like you do if you go pick the 100. You have to come in with a lot of momentum. Maybe you end up losing the ball because you're forced to just save across the net. Whereas Atow with 70, oh, the ground pinch from Joreuz. Could be able to control it just fine, but I tell you what, right now, the kickoff's maybe going in Joreuz's favor as he pinches this one behind the Belgian. Atow off the sidewall. Needs a reset to get it on targets. And you never have to worry about him. 3-3 at 3:03. Same score backwards and forwards. I know chat's really excited about that. Atow sailing this ball away as he goes to pick up boost, which means he is going to allow the Batmobile to get a ball carry, and this is so scary. Once the Batmobile's on that car, it's just the slightest bit of movement, it feels like. All of a sudden, it's sailing top speed into your net. So challenging it can seem impossible. Atow off the back wall. Passing to himself off the ceiling. He's going to fall far short of the nets, and it seemed like maybe he was hoping for a wave dash shot finish, but missed it. Instead, will allow Joreuz to get the ball on top of his car. This time, Joreuz is worried about the challenge, I think. Does launch the flick early. Pulling this onto his back wall. This is perfect play from Joreuz. I mean, it all started from the clear back to his own half, right? He's not afraid to roll it directly up his post. He knows there's never going to actually be a chance to score it, and that keeps it as far away from Atow as possible, who then is chasing behind the play the whole time and can never quite catch up before the long shot to make it 5-3. Joreuz sets one up off the back wall, does steal the midfield 100. And that will result in another goal. 6-3 from Joreuz. Joreuz popping off today in the Batmobile. I'll see if I can pull up Atow's recent matches on RL Duels, because Atow has looked really good. There's been a few players who have been playing show matches and having a lot of success recently. Nupo, obviously one of them. He's had like one loss against Moxie in the past 11 or so. But Atow, despite I think maybe a loss to Nupo, was otherwise looking pretty unbeatable. I want to see if I can pull up the exact history. Atow going to get a nice shot from Joreuz on this one as he double jumps but then gets a reset to flick it. Atow zap dash to the side wall. Oh my goodness, Joreuz read it perfectly. Atow drops in the nice one. He's trying to escape him. And Joreuz says, nope, I know exactly where it'll be on the side wall. And it seems like this Batmobile might just be better at creating those pinches on the side wall. We know the player who originally played it was famously good at sidewall pinches in the Batmobile. Atow, interesting decision. He actually went back post, maybe hoping Joreuz would have overreacted and shot out into the midfield, but Joreuz actually stayed calm. Follow-up, though, is going to be in. Yeah, I got Mr. Atow's history up here. This is what I was pulling up a second ago. So he's actually lost his last two matches. Oh, you know what? He's been playing really tough matches. Moxie, Nupo, Rawas. Those are his past 5. So it doesn't really feel like he can be blamed too much. He was on a great streak before that, and he is going to go next here against Joreuz. 2-0 for Mr. Joreuz as we head to game 3. He does have a 3-0 over Rawas, but then he played Nupo, Moxie, and wasn't able to get those wins. Chat was speculating we were going to get double Batmobile, but it remains just Joreuz in the Batmobile. I'm starting to see the future. Everyone, everywhere. is playing in the Batmobile. It's RLCS 2026 Worlds. The lobby loads up. 5 of 6 Batmobiles. There's 1 Fennec remaining. Atow resets, gets denied, and Joreuz is able to put it high enough to keep the run going. Someone mentioned it during the last series, you know, in RLCS, during these best of 7s, will they have timeouts? And thinking they will. I don't know why they wouldn't give timeouts. And it would certainly maybe have been a timeout from Atow's corner or after the last game. Certainly would be a timeout if this one continues the way it's been going, because it has been Joreuz's momentum. I would say the first game was actually kind of a battle before the last minute or so, in which Joreuz pulled away, and then he's just continued that ever since. Joreuz getting chased down by Mr. Atow. Able to escape that pressure quite easily. The other thing about playing hitboxes is they can often feel like they're made of titanium. Impossible to bump, impossible to move. I'm not sure exactly what that is that makes them feel that way compared to when you're trying to demo some of the taller hitboxes. I mean, other than the fact that maybe they're just, you know, bigger profile to hit. But Atow's going to get on the board. Able to fight through the bump and still get his double. Joreuz has just been unrelenting, I should say, as he just chases down the ball and finds every opportunity to score that he can. If Atow leaves it for a second, Joreuz is turning it in for a goal. Wave dash kickoff from both these guys. Atow forced around 180, as he should get the midfield, and Joreuz wanted to get the ball. Atow not going to let him. Oh, not the best first touch ever. Joreuz can get back, but Atow wise to go all the way to the other side of the nets as Joreuz recovered. If Joreuz comes out and wins EU RLCS 1v1, is he officially the GOAT? I was saying it before, but, you know, somebody who is going to have to win a regional, a major, and worlds, I mean, that person is in the conversation no matter who they are. Now, of course, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Joreuz also has a salt mine under his belt, which is why if he were to win the first RLCS EU, I mean, he was already in that conversation, you know, maybe behind a few people at an RLCS 1v1. And we're certainly having to talk. Joreuz up 6-2 right now. Is he going to go ceiling pinch? He does. Can't follow it up, though. Atow, a demo, gets him a third. Atow still has a ton of time here in this game. Back to his delay kickoff. Did not have the success he wanted. You can see no carve movement, always a sign of some slight tilts. Joreuz maybe expecting that delay, ready for it. Trying to win it into that right corner to set himself up. This one, a lot less delay, but a very similar end results of him forcing it into Atow's corner. Atow eligible bump, and he's ready to bring him out. We had a bump play on the ground. We got a bump play through the air. It's clear. You got to score at all costs the way the series has been going. Ooh, maybe Not the best skim. Don't know how used to Joreuz is to getting doinks with the Batmobile. Pre-flip touch from Atow to kill the ball right in the perfect spot so he can collect it back up and attack the net. Every little bit of movement is important to playing fast. What people would consider fast, not necessarily like a touch that you would consider fast. In fact, it stopped the ball and made it not move, but it kept it in the perfect position for him to keep the play going as early as possible. Now, a defensive win for Atow is going to result in a sidewall double, and he's within 2. This is a huge game for Atow. The difference in the series between having to get 4 straights and having it just be 2-1. But right now, Atow's still playing from behind. Joreuz resets. The flip shot is actually a bit weak. Allows an easier save for Atow, who's going to pre-flip underneath the ball, and now he has a great dribble. He's going to go bump again. He's had some success with it. This time, drops back down to the ground. Will resets. Pass to himself off the back wall for a low bouncing dribble that he will take to the skies. He cannot get Joreuz, who goes underneath it and makes the save. It costs him all his boost, though. Steals from Atow in the midfield and the corner. Can he get this angle? He missed it, and it seems like he might have needed it. The way he went for it was a bit all in as well. It ended his possession, and he cannot undercut Joreuz, and there it is. He's had enough of this game, too. That was a huge moment for Atow. Not an impossible angle, but not an easy one either. And he does not get it. 3-0 for Joreuz. I can't remember the last time I've watched a Batmobile lose a game, let alone a series. I think a Batmobile lost a game in the 100% series, right? GK versus 100%. I believe Oli was already in the Batmobile. I don't think he started the weekend in the Batmobile, but he was in it by then. They did lose some games then, at least. Now, we haven't seen a game loss all through Sunday. Batmobile went undefeated. And we haven't seen a Batmobile loss today. 3-0 for Joreuz as he's going to tie this one up. Atow going to have this kickoff pay off for him. This time it's Joreuz delaying. But Atow just single jumps and saves that flip. Able to touch the ball again. The delay can often be a good counter to the single jump wave dash, but you maybe have to be slightly farther back, not allow that person to just continue through and essentially turn it into, you know, a wave dash kickoff just slightly farther up the field. Normally, if you back off enough, you could chip it out and around them, not allow them to continue to 50 it. Atow needs to turn it around now. There's been somebody in chat who said they've seen this before, which obviously it is live. These games are live. There's no way you've seen this actual series before. But the person who has said that, who is apparently from the future, has been suggesting that this is a 3-0 lead for Joreuz and then a reverse sweep for Atow. So far they're correct. So far they somehow are correct. Will they actually turn out to be a truth seer? We don't know. Oh my goodness, dude. The Batmobile just booms the ball. Oh, no, he missed. I think that was slightly the Batmobile's fault as well. I have to assume Joreuz missed that because of his unfamiliarity with the hitbox. But, I mean, those kind of pressure flicks that force defenders into net, they're usually only possible from, you know, at least midfield. Joreuz just launched a full field kind of pressure flick all the way from his back line, it felt like. Got Atow into net and then could play from there. And by all means, he had the follow-up goal. He just had a mechanical error. Atow passing to himself off the ceiling in the midfield. Reset catch. Pre-flip shot. Top left. And Atow is starting to cook. This is the Atow we know and love. And this is just perfection on the air dribble. You watch it from Joreuz's POV. You're just sitting there waiting and hoping that he messes up somewhere along the line. But he puts it with power into the top left and even follows it up as well to force it in. Can Atow give the Batmobile the first loss it's seen in days? Joreuz trying to pull his camera down periodically to see if Atow is taking advantage of this high floating ball. Atow was not. Atow wanted to back off. As Joreuz is going to get this stolen away. This is the kind of thing that was happening in the other direction that was leading to it feeling suffocating for Atow. As Joreuz just taking away every single chip, every single touch was turning into a possession for him. Huge delay kickoff. See, this is what you want to do with the delay normally. You're trying to delay it so hard the person does not fall through, but Joreuz wasn't able to get that last time. Atow does. Atow got scared there that the Batmobile was going to get a touch. I think if he knew it was going to be a complete whiff, he might have been able to score. But double jump bump. Batmobile gets around it, but cannot get around the landing. There's never an easier time to demo somebody than after they just used their jump and their boost and they're floating down to the ground. I mean, he is just the freest target ever. There's literally nothing Joreuz can do. I guess he could try and, you know, sacrifice his landing for the sake of rolling weirdly, unexpectedly, in order to dodge a demo, but at some point, you know, landing sideways is just as bad as getting bumped, so you're all but guaranteed to get bumped. Atow, a demo, and a goal the other way. What a change in momentum. Somebody asked that one guy for lottery tickets, how did he see game number 4 was going to be Atow's? Atow gonna die here with 2 minutes left to go. Joreuz actually probably needed to matrix around that second touch to let the ball go out to the midfield. Oh, it never gets old. It never gets old. We're so used to watching one hitbox that it's just nice to see, you know, something new out of those planks. Half flip kickoff from Atow against the guy to do it first in high-profile tournaments. Joreuz saw the bump coming, single jumps over the top of it, or I shouldn't say saw, it was behind him, probably heard it. Predicted it was coming. Next, I'll save him. You owe me one. I saved you a goal. Actually, it looks like Atow tapped it away and wasn't going to score it anyways. Game 4 going to Atow. Game number 5. Atow took a little bit too long to get going, potentially. But better late than never as he wins game number 4. The Batmobile is now merely, what, 15-1 in the past 3 days. Joreuz gonna get a demo to secure the first goal. Joreuz off the side wall. We saw him open the series with a pretty mechanical aerial play. I don't think he's necessarily relied on that much going forward. He has played out an expert Batmobile ground game, challenge game. But he seems more than capable. Atow's going to flick himself and get to the follow-up before Joreuz can. Joreuz taking this one to the back wall. He is not going to take a full field dribble here, and we'll see what he can create out of this. See, that this is what I'm talking about. This is what makes Diaz's ability to dribble there so nice. Joreuz, who didn't feel comfortable trying to go the length of the field off his own back wall, instead cuts around the ball, brings it to the ground, and starts to try and prepare to escape his own half from the ground. And what ends up happening? Atow steals it away, gets a demo, gets a goal. Joreuz Wave dash shot on the ground. Atow has to give him the nice one. He was covering it all the way as well in case Atow challenged early. Atow transitioning to the ceiling. Back down. Cannot react to that shot. Atow. Oh my goodness, Atow. Watching that from Joreuz POV was perfect. Nice bump from Joreuz. We're not going to get to talk about it as much because Joreuz got the save. But we watched it from Joreuz POV. It looks like Atow's running up to the ball, potentially to pass to himself off the ceiling. Last second pulls away, gets a reset. So Joreuz. Oh no, Atow! Oh, I want to talk about these plays, but too much is going on. Atow just chipped up a wide open net over the top. And we are sitting in a tie game still when we absolutely should not be. Joreuz, interesting pre-flip to kill this into the corner. And Atow cannot connect on his demo. Little reverse from the Batmobile, who is able to pinch it. Ooh, Joreuz missed the wave dash. He wanted to chain dash up and follow it. But the miss dash threw him off. Now Atow at around ceiling heights. He was attacking from such a high angle. It's hard to really get the movement that he would need to get around Joreuz, but still score. As Joreuz locked into the demo, didn't get it, and Atow will end up getting his third all the same. Joreuz here is not thinking about ball. He's thinking that he's closed the distance enough that even if it gets chipped, that he'll just demo Atow and then go back and collect the ball. But Atow saw it coming. Danced around it. And is now winning this game. Joreuz back wall dribble. Great catch and flick. I mean, this is so natural for Joreuz. All of these touches, you know, if you aren't comfortable with your hitbox, you're not getting these this clean. And yet, it would seem that Joreuz is comfortable. Atow sees his opportunity to get a demo, says, oh, never mind, who cares about the ball? Let me go just tap you out of the way. And wait a second, did Joreuz almost get a save by pinching the ball up? No, certainly Atow's not missing this time. Atow saw the pre-jump and kept the ball low. Even though Joreuz did get a little bit of a touch on it. Not enough to prevent a goal. Joreuz hitting it around the delay kickoff. Atow is a heavy delayer. That can happen on occasion. As long as Atow covers the angles directly into the net, it's not the end of the world. He should still have a chance to make plays happen. Right now, he will clear the ball out. He's going to switch the field for 100. And Joreuz going to turn back the clock with a little bounce dribble. Cutting on the power slides, but no way to score. Again, Joreuz having to bring the ball down from the back wall with one of the best bumpers in the game, making sure he doesn't get it clean. This pinch would have rolled in if it weren't for the defender, but Joreuz is going to collect it. Air dribble himself. Is it going to be air dribble bump? No, he actually prioritized carrying it a bit longer before trying to get ahead of it. It's going to allow Atow to make that save, and here we go. Joreuz again doesn't seem super willing to go off the back wall. He does do it, but he waits for the ball to fall to the ground. Wait, it has a flip. Drops it in. Joreuz went the length of the field, and he did it without the help of the ball's momentum. He fought against the ball's momentum, caught it with his pre-flip, and then finished it on the goal line. It's a soft shot, but Atow clearly not ready for it, as he's not around to make a save. And it's 4-4 with 44 seconds left to go. Joreuz is on match points for a long time now. Atow shot that over the top. He had a chance to gain the lead with 30 seconds. Joreuz is just staring at the ball. Another high touch. Joreuz able to cover the angle of the clear from Atow. Ooh, missed touch there. Can he reverse back and make something out of it? No. It will be Atow with the clear. Wave dash to lose possession. Only pads to work with from Atow. That Batmobile on a ball carry is a scary situation. Atow in and out of that. Thought about going high, went back down to the ground, makes the save. After he was threatening going high, it makes it seem like that bottom corner that Joreuz went to is available. But he correctly bailed out of it and got to that spot. 4-4 overtime. Atow has to win to keep this series going. Atow touched back into his half. Long shots forced by Joreuz. Now, can Joreuz survive? Can he hold on to boost and escape without getting demoed? That's the question. He's going to rise up to meet this one. Did he get the reset? Is he going to be able to stop this? He does. Atow went for it. Can't blame him. Felt like there was a window there. And Joreuz trying to use the magic of his plank hitbox to see if he can't get an ultra-powered flick. This one was not ultra-powered, though. Makes it back on Atow's counterattack, who's going to have 100. Sent this one to the ceiling. Able to pick up the back corner as well. Joreuz doesn't have the boost to get up. Oh, but he tried to dive in. Atow plays it around him. Has a wide open net. He's not missing this one. The series will continue as Atow takes game number 5. Game number 6. Atow and Joreuz. Atow gonna score first. Joreuz in the attacking corner, wants a demo, gets it, not going to get the midfield 100, he knows, so he'll just take a trip to the back corner. And now taking it to the skies. Hey, ceiling pinch. He's never had boost left over. He's gotten for a couple ceiling pinches so far in this series, but has never been in a position where he could actually chase it down and follow it up. Just barely escaping the demo after the mistouch. We've seen a couple of those from Joreuz. Feels like he's gotten more out of the Batmobile than he's lost, though. And with more time on it, might even be able to clean it up a bit more. Nice catch, cuts, and goal for Joreuz. Atow denied on his attempt at a second goal after winning the kickoff. Joreuz popping this one up and fights through the bump pressure. Atow connects, but the Batmobile, it's stronger than any other car in the game. Atow trying to muscle Joreuz off of his line and instead actually threw himself off, and I think made it easier for Joreuz to take his own corner boost and get the goal. If Atow had gotten underneath it and actually launched him out of the play, it would have been helpful, but instead, again, the Batmobile proves to be so tough to deal with. Joreuz going to make it 3-1. Atow has been able to get 2 straight, has begun what would be a pretty epic comeback. Not sure how often we see full best of 7 reverse sweeps. Atow has been leading. This is a great flick. You don't have to have a Batmobile to get a good flick. Atow just started the past 2 games in the lead, though. Now he's going to have to come from behind in this game as well. Atow reset, wave dash behind the ball. Joreuz reads where he's going with it and gets himself a perfect pass. Here's the aerial play from the Batmobile we haven't seen quite as much of, and it's not going to pay off. I think the flick was slightly off. Atow just barely got the save. It felt like it was a little bit, less tense than Atow made it. I felt like the save was easier, but he made it very, very, very close. Atow getting the resets and taking it to the ground this time. Wave dash around the ball to get that chip into the bottom corner. 3-3. Can he force game 7 against the Batmobile? Atow, a little stare down. Who knows if that's the flex or not, but he's going to reverse cam to get a read on where Joreuz is as he rolls it in. Joreuz backflip clips that setup just enough. Atow was looking psycho. Didn't make it the length of the field, just past the midfield line. Big challenge gets Joreuz to flick. He bumps him. He slows the ball down and everything. I almost feel like the initial shot wasn't great and it needed a little bit of adjustment. Joreuz connecting on the goal. Double delay kickoff. Atow delayer. Pretty sure that's the official way to describe that. Joreuz keeping this one in the air for a moment longer. Not enough to get it past Atow. Now a pre-jump. This is what had been working for Joreuz before. It's obviously easier said than done. Trying to challenge Atow early. But Atow did win that 50 and then flicks it over the top of him to take his lead. Delay kickoff. Atow wants the midfield, which means he's going to have to deal with a little bit of disturbance from Joreuz instead of getting a free setup, but it's worth the risk. As Joreuz is not able to throw him off that much, and he's able to attack much quicker. We've seen Atow fake, go to the ground, wave dash this a few different times. He's threatening everything. Tough position for Joreuz to be in. And he's not able to stop this one. Now Atow doesn't have boost, so he knows that he's going to be leaving here. Heavy first touch from Joreuz. Is he going to try and double it? He really puts it off targets, and that's just a bit of a mistake. Joreuz had a free possession. Lots of things he could have done with it, and he just got nothing. Absolutely nothing out of it. Could have played it slower into a carry. I mean, he really could have had anything he wanted. And he booms into the back wall and then missed his double to give up a freebie. It can be quite tilting. Gonna have to shake off plays like that. Not to mention have it follow up with kickoff goals for Atow. He has built himself up a massive buffer here in this series. The problem is, as it seems likely to head to Game 7, he will not have the momentum. Atow, a demo, and looks like a little bit of time wasting because we haven't really seen him do this before. He is not Diaz. He doesn't like the back wall dribble. So he is clearly just trying to bait Joreuz in and lock in his Game 6 win. A flick and a double no look. Oh my goodness, Atow. He's absolutely flexing to secure game number 6. That is such an early no look, and he kept rotating through too. Filthy shot from Atow to win game number 6. And we are going the distance. Oh my goodness. Game 7. When we were a couple games in. Ooh, Joreuz in the Fennec. Joreuz has decided to switch to the Fennec. I tell you what, this is not what I expected. When we were watching the series early on, there were more people saying, when is Atow going to go Batmobile? When is he going to give up on this Fennec game, which is clearly not it, and switch into a Batmobile? Instead, it's Atow who has forced Joreuz back into the standard hitbox. Joreuz actually survived this bump. He should be fine. Atow tried to follow it up in net, but still it's in and out. Oh no, Joreuz! Dude, this is really bad for him starting game 7. He had survived. He was going to try and bring this back into his half, but he ended up chipping it way too much towards the net. I think he was hoping back wall, then go grab the boost and start his possession. 1-0 for Atow. Atow, nothing created out of this aerial. Joreuz able to get 100. Atow's going to stay aggressive, chaining dashes on 0 boost. He's picked up a pad or two, but he's in a tough spot. Joreuz Gonna try an air triple bump, and he does connect. But he ends up taking it too high. And now he's gonna have to attack a full boost Atow on the respawn. Another double jump, this time a 50 delayed. And Joreuz, you can tell, he's trying to find a reliable way to get past Atow because it doesn't seem like there's any right now. Tried the high air triple bump, tried to fake it. Both got saved. Now again on the carry. That felt like such a threatening position to have the ball when he was in the Batmobile. It feels a little bit less scary now that he's in a Fennec. Nice wave dash out of the inside of the goal. Seems like not the easiest recovery, but essential to get the play moving. Bump from Joreuz onto Atow. Atow did not just miss that for no reason. Joreuz, long shots. Look at the chain dashing in the corner. This is a great play from Joreuz. We'll watch it again from his POV. Anytime you get to those curves on the wall, it's just a little bit easier to dash and stay glued to it. And 111 kilometer per hour banger from the back corner. As he has the game tied up 1-1. Atow, double jump bump. Joreuz gets around it. Pass to himself. Couldn't get the touch as he set up on the side wall. Seemed like he was looking for another quick play. Maybe even into a long shot again. Ooh, nice dodge around Atow. Atow is always looking for those demos a lot more than everyone else. Joreuz maybe sees it coming, but the problem right now is he hasn't been able to set up his aerial game. When Atow's in nets, he cannot find a way around him. Two-1. Joreuz. Back wall. Nice bump here. Can he get it in? He pinches it, and it does go in. If you haven't already been working on the wall dashes as a pro, you are far behind. Joreuz, a couple wall dashes in order to demo Atow and get supersonic, and then pinch it in that top right corner. Atow passed to himself off the ceiling for the kickoff. The ball floating midfield. Nice save from Joreuz. Atow seemed to have the edge in those. That's a sign that Joreuz is still hanging in it. Atow wanting the counter. Joreuz got too comfortable. He can make the save no matter what, but he decided he wanted to pull the ball into his corner and carry it away. So he tries to cut around it and misses the touch and allows it to just bounce straight in. A goal that did not need to happen. If you're Joreuz, delay kickoff from Atow to follow it up. Joreuz actually gets back on the ball before putting it into the blue box. Atow going to take to the skies. Joreuz pre-jumped it. Atow gets around it, and he's Atow, so it's going to be no trouble at all for him to follow this up and in. But I talked about the goal line. Great movement. You could tell, you know, just watching from Joreuz POV, he picked a good line. But Atow was one step ahead. Joreuz bumped on the recovery, but still demoed. Atow knew he was going to try to escape by single jumping. And we'll just pre-flip to this ball. I thought he was going to fake for sure, but he decided to try and just sneak it in. Joreuz does recover on the demo and get the save. Minute 40. Pressure on Joreuz. Atow, did he just try and pogo to dodge a demo? Joreuz did not connect on one. In and out. Wave dash recovery. This 50 is one. Atow is able to dodge Joreuz, who was trying to get a demo. Couldn't connect on it. You see a little bit of tilt there from Joreuz. Atow escaping. Doing well to not only play the ball back to the net, but also never make himself a target for Joreuz. Atow. This kickoff into his own half. We saw him time waste with this amount of time earlier. Really do that this time. He's going for his pogo. He is liable for one pogo a series. It's going to cost him a goal with a minute 6 left to go. Delay kickoff again from Atow. Joreuz does bump him. Sends him all the way into the orange half. So it's going to be a bit more awkward of a setup now for Atow as Joreuz dives all the way in. And I think Atow feels like he can just put strong shots on net and get Joreuz playing defense for an extended bit of time. Probably not going to be able to survive. Atow not shooting here. Just takes it across the net. Says, I prioritize possession here with the lead over trying to force out one more goal. Although Joreuz might have a chance on this flick. Gets demoed. 32 seconds. You got to think Atow is not going to rush this to the other side. He's going to cut it back on his own half. Joreuz now has to try and time a challenge that can be really tough. Wants a demo. Gets a 50 with Atow. Not the easiest angle, but still possible as Joreuz passes it to himself off the back wall. 15 seconds. He needs a goal right now. This has to be a tap over the top of Atow, who's on 0 boost. Joreuz has a chance. Actually needs to score a little bit quick. He might have taken too long. Yeah, he needed to shoot earlier. If that goes in, it's not going to matter. Atow, the full reverse sweep. 6 of the games played in the Batmobile, but the Fennec in the final game could not change the trend. Atow will take it in Game 7. Okay, where's that guy who said he had seen this series before? This was played live. Where's Time Traveler guy? Where is he? He said that so early. He said it so early.